One of the things that the gentle over here asked, and I failed to answer, from a pound of rose petals, I got 36 4-ounce bottles of water. Because as I said, this was the third pull off of those petals, so that I can get a lot of liquor off of the petals. So I'm going to get a lot of water. Now, this is what a pound of rose petals looks like. In period, you can take and collect rose petals all year long. Rose petals will stay good for 6 months whenever they're packed in salt. In period, they used sea salt, and the salt was preserved and reused. This is pure oil. This is rosemary oil. This is all the oil that I got off a pound of rosemary. I'm going to pass it around. That was produced in a period still. Don't breathe deep. You won't have eyebrows left. It is awesome.
And you said that's a third of a pound? So that's a third of a bag?
This is a third of a bag.
And that's your third pull off of that one?
Yes. I've got,
that means that's like 9 pulls right there.
yes.
Now, do you pull the water and then get the oil? Do you get both, or do you only able to get an oil?
You can get both.
You get the water and then you get the oil?
Yes.
So how do you clean out the tube to get the
I take simply a long Q-tip on a stick. Yes, sir.
Do you mix something like valerian in with that?
If you read the period recipes, what happens is they begin taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of something else. They put them together and run them through the still. What do you get? No, not a mess. What do you get? You get cordial. The word cor, C-O-R, in Latin means heart. Cordials are heart medicines, so that they develop the cordials to treat disease. So that the second process that we talked about a moment ago, where you ferment with sugar and yeast to get alcohol, that alcohol originally was called a cordial. It was a medicinal water. And so that in period, whenever they looked at these things, they're clear, they pour, it's a water. And they name these collectively the water of life. Water of life is ethyl alcohol.
Wow.
It becomes a heresy because a group of Christians begin to baptize using the water of life.
Full immersion, or
No, what they did literally was they would sprinkle the water of life on your head and light it on fire. The alcohol burns and you don't. A baptism in fire. This becomes a heresy in France. Everyone who practiced baptism in fire, baptism in water of life, is excommunicated by the church. So that Benedictine is a water of life developed by the Benedictines. The Carthusians make what? Chartreuse, the water of life, with 135 different herbs. What alchemists are doing is they want to know what's in this stuff. They're hunting for the soul. They're hunting for the spark of life. They are hunting for the spirit. We still use the word spirits to describe alcohol. It's the spirit of the material. So that everything that they saw, everything that they could touch, they wanted to refine and extract the spirit out of it. And they began with wine. They distilled wine.
Sherry.
Brandy. Absolute brandy.
So, now, isn't within classes of herbs, isn't the alcohol the same across them, but the oil is actually the essence that's unique to the plant?
Therein is the modern interpretation. Okay? If you read the period text, they begin to try to write and describe what they are doing, so that the original material becomes the first part of the name of the material. So that if today all of us would say ethyl alcohol is ethyl alcohol is ethyl alcohol. However, if you're doing it in the period still, you're getting more than alcohol. You are still collecting the essence of the plant material that you're, or animal material that you're starting with. And so therefore, they describe rose water of life, because the alcohol is rose alcohol. So that they're trying to be very precise whenever they're writing, because they don't know what, or they do not have the same perception that we have of elements. So that they're trying to be very precise about what they're seeing. So that each material that they start with is part of the name. For instance, there's a material called tartar. Everybody familiar with cream of tartar? Where does tartar come from? Wine. Wine. It's from the dregs, from the makings. So that they begin to distill tartar. And they end up with these long names of material that no longer are tartar, but are still bearing the name tartar, because that's the source. Modern chemistry says, well, they don't know what they were talking about, because this obviously is not tartar. We're semantics now. We're fighting over the words we're using. For them, it made perfect sense.
More words.
Absolutely. The difference is ours count.
He who wins writes the history.
Absolutely. So that what we look at whenever we're pulling the text out is we have to redact it and make it work backwards from our viewpoint. So that they started with wine because that was relatively easy available. They only moved into grain almost at the end of period, because you get fusel off of grain distillation, which is a poison. You don't get that with wine.
More sugar available later.
Sugar is always available for distillation. It's called the moleculary. It is always available for distillation. It's the one thing that kings, queens, courts provide for. In period, every royal household